All right. So there's a huge misconception on, how this actually gets applied into, real combat. So whether it's mixed martial arts or for combat on the street for real. And I understand that there's a lot of trepidation and why people will want to use Wing Chun. And it's only because there's no real understanding or grasp of it. So I'm just going to show you, this is literally only a sliver. This is a piece of one set. It's a piece of one set. Okay. So this is going to be number 5. And in number 5, we have kind of like a snake hand. So you notice my fingers go towards the center all the time. So watch. My palm is down, and then my palm is up. But my fingers always kind of want to face towards my opponent, all right? So you look at that and you go, what in the world, how does that actually apply? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you just a quick example. And again, when I use an example, just like anything else, examples are like words, okay? You can put a word into another sentence, believe it or not. You can use that same word and put it into 3 paragraphs and so on and so forth. These are just pieces of it. So if I was doing our fighting mixed martial arts, let's just say, for example, and he threw a jab, right? So he threw his first jab and whoa, I'm parrying this. And in our art, this is called the pak sao, okay? But after he throws that jab, man, he just wants to take my head out. And I don't necessarily have the time or the space to get out of there, okay? So in Wing Chun, and this is what we just saw there, he throws that first punch and whoa, I pak to get out. Now he wants to throw that haymaker to put me out. I don't have too much space. So what I want to do is meet his arm. And notice what I was saying on the detail. When I hit this, my ulna, the bone, is hitting his radius. Okay, so I'm not hitting the meat of his arm. I'm hitting the radius. I'm hitting bone to bone, and my finger is aligned to his eyes. So because this was originally for the street, just do a little bit more pop pop. So I go here and I go whoa, whoa. That here, this shot goes to the eye. And to follow that, I want to show you how we would go under that with a similar hand, again, from the ulna. So he does that that punch. He comes in, and I stop that, and watch this hand go in, and I need to get into a new position because he's trying to hit me. And what? Boom! And I close that gap, and we move in with the elbow. So everything, no matter what art you're doing, has to have a real person to interact with, okay? So I just wanted to show you real quickly on that point that what we take from the dummy, the wooden dummy in Wing Chun and extrapolate it out into how one little piece can work one way when you actually have a live body. And we do this in practice, of course. We all have our gloves and we're doing this in practice for real so that, you get the real functionality of it. And I want to segue into my next and final point, and that's exactly that. Part of what makes Wing Chun so distasteful and uncolorful and bad out there in society, and I get it, is that there's lack of practice with real combat, with real actual interactions. When a Wing Chun practitioner is doing it with another Wing Chun practitioner, I mean, we're both kind of complying with what we're doing, and that's not realistic. And so while we might sharpen our tools together, in real combat, it'll never come out because you need to get it with someone who is not a Wing Chunger. You have to put it in sparring. You have to put it in action. You have to put it in life. So when we do the wooden dummy or any of our forms, these forms, or what one might call a kata, they're not just there so that you look like a dummy flailing your arms. There's supposed to be meaning behind it. And that meaning, these are all alphabets. And like I said, all the alphabets, all of the forms, wooden dummy form, the first, second, and third form, this is something that we will build cohesively into something that we can communicate with our hands, our arms, our legs. And that is ultimately the way it should be trained. And that's the way it should be taught. Unfortunately, that's not the way it always happens. So when we see Wing Chun in mixed martial arts, or we see Wing Chun in the street, we see that there's a lot of flailing around. It's just not applicable if you're not going to go out there and train as if you're doing it for real life combat. So I would say if anybody really wants to know, I mean, check out the videos on YouTube or on Instagram. And we're going to be putting a lot more of these, and they're going to be shorter, just so that you can see. Maybe we'll extrapolate one little thing from the wooden dummy, for example, or maybe from the form, and we'll extrapolate these things and show how we put it into real action in a real spar in real life. And then hopefully that'll squelch any mindset that you may have with regards to whether Wing Chun is something that's viable in the mixed martial arts community or sport. All right, so until then, I say peace.